Have you ever wondered why mummies don't decompose like regular corpses, or how these ancient relics manage to stay preserved for thousands of years? The answer lies in the fascinating and somewhat gruesome process of mummification. Mummification, a process most famously used by the ancient Egyptians, is a method of preserving bodies for the afterlife. But how exactly does this process work? Well, it's not for the faint-hearted, but it's quite intriguing. The first step in the mummification process involved the removal of all internal organs, except for the heart. The ancient Egyptians believed the heart was the seat of intelligence and emotion, and so it was left intact. The brain, on the other hand, was considered useless and was discarded. It was carefully pulled out through the nose using a hook. Next, the body was cleansed and purified. This involved washing the body with palm wine and water from the Nile, a river considered sacred and purifying by the Egyptians. With the body clean, the next step was dehydration. The body was covered in a type of salt called natron, which effectively dried out the body and prevented decomposition. The body was left to dry for a period of 40 days. Following this, the body was then stuffed with linen or sand to give it a more lifelike appearance. The Egyptians then used resin to help the skin stay elastic and maintain its shape. Finally, the body was wrapped in strips of linen. This was a meticulous process, with every single finger and toe individually wrapped before the whole body was covered. Amulets were placed within the wrappings for protection in the afterlife. The last step was the placement of the death mask. This mask, often made of gold and jewels, was a representation of how the person looked in life. The mummy was then placed in a sarcophagus and buried with all the goods they would need in the afterlife. To summarize, mummification is a complex process involving the removal of organs, cleansing and dehydration of the body, reshaping, wrapping in linen, and finally the placement of a death mask. This intricate method of preservation allowed the ancient Egyptians to create a lasting memory of the deceased, a tribute to their belief in life after death. So, the next time you gaze upon the golden death mask of Tutankhamun, or marvel at the mummies in a museum, remember the meticulous process that went into preserving these bodies for eternity. It's a testament to human ingenuity and a fascinating glimpse into an ancient culture's beliefs about death and the afterlife.